Hello and welcome to part 4 and most likely the last part of this tutorial series of Crusader Kings 2. We're playing here in Ireland, and after this part I'm most likely going to make a few tips and tricks videos and some advanced tutorials while I'm going to continue this game as a let's play. But without delaying this any longer, we're going to cover, in this video we're going to cover um, titles, how we can create titles, how you know what titles you can create later on. We're going to cover laws, and more specifically we're going to cover these laws here, the inheritance laws, which are really important to know something about when you're trying to maintain a kingdom or empire. And after that we're going to also talk a bit about crown laws, which you can't see now, but we will be able to see them once we are a kingdom. And at the end I'm going to finish it off with going into a bit more detail about the tech tree, which is well, quite complicated, but if you know what the texture you want to pick, then it gets quite easy. Because it always looks a bit intimidating when you just hover over it like this. Quite a lot of information and percentages and stuff. So, okay, we're going to start off with creating a title, and because we can create a duchy, we have this little button over here to go to it. But if you don't have that and want to see what titles you may be able to create in the future, just hit your main title or one of your other titles right here. You go to the same screen, and for you it will look like this. For me it looks like this because I hit this little de jure box. It's something that shows titles above your title, like the Kingdom of Ireland and the Empire of Brittany. We want to create a Kingdom of Ireland, so we select it, and then we hover over this grey create button, and you can see what you need to create it. So we're just going to go from top to bottom through the list. We need 2 duchy titles. Since we can create one more and we already have one, we'll be able to gain to get those, and we'll be fine with that. Then we need 200 piety to create a kingdom. We don't have 200 piety, so we'll have to fix that. And we need 366 gold. We do have a lot of gold, but I think we might need to save up a bit more, since we're also going to create a duchy, which is also going to cost some gold. So trying to fix them one at a time. Let's start off with creating a duchy. After this we are going to go into, we can see that it's now possible for us to create a kingdom. We just don't have enough piety and money. And to fix the piety problem, we're going to go to intrigue, and in these decisions, if you're Catholic, you always have my indulgence for my sins. This means you actually tell the Pope you've sinned, and he gives you something like a price. You need to pay up for his sins. You give him gold, and he'll be okay. And well, in this game you gain piety. So I'm going to hit that little box, which will send a message to the Pope, and he'll respond in a little while. So we're just going to hit play until he does. Need to go up to speed 3. As you see, we do have a lot of Ireland, and I actually, we're going to spend 100 gold for piety. I did this because we only gain 1 piety a month, and we gain 6 gold a month. So our gold will replenish soon enough to create the title. There was one other thing that I skipped accidentally. We also need 51% of all de jure, so the de jure titles of Ireland, and well, this is Ireland. We have 54%, so we're fine there. Yeah, I'm sorry I skipped that, but if you were to go to the Empire of Brittany, something we could create way later on in this game, you see you need 2 kingdom titles, and we need 80% of the de jure countries of the Empire of Brittany. We only have 10%, so you can easily see how much percent you have and how much you will still need to conquer. So okay, moving on. Now that we are going to just wait for our piety and our gold to tick up, I'm going to go up to speed 5, and we are going to look at some laws. So now I'm going to talk about the succession laws. So we have two things we need to consider here. We need to consider who is going to inherit, like who's in the pool, who has a chance to inherit. And now we are at agnatic cognatic, and then gavelkind is the way they're going to inherit. So agnatic cognatic, which means that males will inherit, but if there's no male, females can inherit. It's possible, but males are always chosen before a female. And then we can also go to agnatic, which is basically only males can inherit. Females don't have a chance. If you have a female heir and you die, nobody inherits you, and the game ends. So then we have absolute cognatic, which means that only females can inherit. So I always think you need to be on agnatic cognatic, because it's the way, like, you'll survive. Males are always preferable in this circumstance, because your vassals will like them more, you can do more with them than females. It's just the way the game's made, and it is historically accurate for the time, of course. So, but if you don't have any male heir, or he dies just before you die, something like that, your females will just continue on ruling, and you won't have any problems there. So now we're going to talk about the succession law. Well, you could also call this gender law. I actually didn't read that. So now the succession laws, we are going to just go from one to the list. So we have seniority. The oldest member of your dynasty inherits. So it's not your oldest son. It's like if you have an uncle, a really old uncle, or maybe a brother of your father or something is still alive, he will inherit. Not your son, not your children, not the people you can directly control, just the oldest member of your dynasty. This is really nice if you want to have a few inheritance after one another really fast, but it's not so nice in any other circumstances, I think, because you'll always be really old. You might want to consider that you then have a lot more prestige, so you get a bit more happiness from your vassals, but there are no other reasons why you should take it. But somebody in the comment section might disagree with me. Then we have primogeniture. I think I pronounced that horribly, but it's okay. Which is your oldest son inherits. This is really nice for beginners, I always believe, because you just have your oldest son that inherits. If he dies, your next son, you have good control over the person who inherits, and he gets everything, no problems. Like, no problems, he just gets everything and you keep playing. You just need to keep your vassals happy, because this pisses off some of the other people in your family. And, well, so you need to manage them a bit more. And some of the vassals don't really like it as much as something like elective monarchy, which we're going to talk about next. So elective monarchy is basically everybody under your de jure kingdom or empire can vote on who is going to gain the title. So you really need to manage your vassals really good, and that's why I like primogeniture over elective monarchy for new people, because it's easier to just gain everything without any problems. So you really need to manage it and keep an eye on it, that your right heir is selected and voted upon. But the big plus point for elective monarchy is you can choose which heir. So if I might have a shitty my oldest son has shit stats, he can do almost nothing, then I can just choose my youngest son if he's fantastic, and that makes it a lot easier to have good stats. But again, you need to manage it, because your vassals are also going to vote, and they can also vote on themselves, so you might lose everything that you've worked on. You might get it back through intrigue and stuff, but again, it costs a lot of management. So I'm sorry, a little cut there, but so dynasty is basically elective monarchy, but then they can only nominate people out of your dynasty, which is which is a bit better, because it stays within dynasty, but you are going to have a lot harder time keeping control, because a few vassals who can nominate themselves is a lot less threatening than an entire dynasty. When you have a big dynasty, which you will later on get, well, I hope you do, you don't die out, then that might be a bit hard to manage. and all vassals won't really like it because they can vote, but they can't vote on themselves, or they can't nominate themselves, like in elective monarchy. Which another plus point of is that your vassals really like it. And you have ultimogeniture. Sorry for the pronunciation. And that's that your youngest. It's basically the same as primogeniture, but then your youngest son inherits. So again, your youngest son will like it. If you want to stay really young, I think this is a good law for you. But I don't think it's used that much because it's not really great. And then the last one, which isn't in this list but it's up here because we are now under Gavelkind. Well, it is Gavelkind and we're under Gavelkind right now, which means it's going to, all your titles that you have are going to be distributed amongst your heirs, your sons, your children actually. So like now I have my main heir who's going to get the petite kingdom of Munster, so my duchy. Then my grandson, I should be losing some stuff. Yeah, here, look, lost on succession. Okay, so my other son is going to get the county of Leicester, county of Austria. So I'm losing a few counties and a duchy. That's how they are doing it right now. So it's going to be divided, which is not good because I'm going to be playing as my oldest son. So for the sake of it's trying to go for primogeniture because it's the easiest for news, and the idea behind this is that you can kind of play along your game. It might take you a little bit longer to create the Kingdom of Ireland, but I will explain everything, and you should encounter these problems on your way, just as I did. So we're going to pick that. We're going to change the gender laws, so our inheritance is now safe. The little icon that says that that we're going to lose titles on succession is gone, and now we're going to, we need a bit more, so I'm just going to hit play for just 1 month longer. And my lad is brave, that's nice. So now we can create the Kingdom of Ireland. So we're just going to hit this create button, going to lose our piety and money, but now we are king. In one lifetime we went from a duke to a king, which is well, really fast. Most likely you're going to take like 2 or 3 generations. It was when I first started playing, it took me that long. What we can do now, we have the de jure Kingdom of Ireland, so we can hit the de jure kingdoms, and you can see that this should be our land. So the people who are independent here, we can ask them for well, we can offer them vassalization. We can say like, I've shown that I'm the King of Ireland, you should be under me, and why don't you join my kingdom, or I'll crush you. So he wants to join us. We're going to send offer vassalization to all people in our realm, well, in our kingdom, which we should have. So he's not going to do it because he really hates me. So let's see if you will do it. Okay. He kind of likes us, but I might be able to persuade him by offering him my grandchild. Wait 1 second, I'm just going to check. So Gabron, I don't want to give away Gabron, but I might want to give away one of the others. So Gabron, I'm just going to, actually I'm going to give away my daughter, which is perfect. So send you, somebody will dislike me a bit, to hit play. Actually I'm going to send some other vassalization requests before that. Oh, okay, he's already accepted. Perfect. So since I'm still let's offer vassalization, he's still not going to do it. Well, okay, I'll just we'll take him over later then. So we're going to offer him vassalization. He's also going to do it actually, and he's also going to do it. So we're going to gain almost all of Ireland in one fell swoop. I'm going to lower the game speed a little bit, and there we go. With Ireland we can create a few duchies, which we might do later on. For now we're going to unite the rest of Ireland. I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to declare war on these two. damn it, because I actually let him educate one of my children. He now has a hostage. So you are going to be educated by someone else, by this guy. So that's better. Now we can just freely declare war on you. I'm going to fight 2 wars at a time, and I think that just break a truce. I think I did. Well, oops. No, actually I didn't. So I'm going to call upon my armies, which is less than I thought I would have. But it's fine, we're just going to crush them. I think I'm going to skip ahead to the part that I've won, because I've already talked about warfare. Well, you know what, I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do this. So we need to, first of all, get them all together before these guys hit. So, actually quite stupid that to lose a few of my armies here. You're going to make it, just making sure they're all taking the right route. So play. I think I still have a bit more troops than they do. So that's great. I'm just going to crush both their armies, one at a time. And then I'm going to come back and crush the rest of them. So, oh, I need to educate my grandson. I think I'm going to, I can't educate him myself. I'll just give him to a vassal for now. And we need to, of course, check our leaders. We can't, oh, yes, crown laws. This is the next thing. I'm just going to pause the video right here and talk a little bit about crown laws. We're now at minimum crown authority, which our vassals really like, because they can basically do whatever they want, and we have minimum power over them. So because we are now king, we can change the crown laws in Ireland. Because we were a petite king, we couldn't. So you can go up to a max. You have minimum, maximum, low, medium, high, and low, medium, high in between. So the ideal spot is medium or high, I believe. They all do something, I'm going to go over that. So minimum, you basically, vassals rule themselves. They are only bound by basically a code of honor and the fear that you might destroy them with your other vassals. Really loosely bound together, but they really like it. They will like you more. Then you have low, which you have some laws, but you have some power over them. They will have to give you more of their levy. All your vassals have to give you more of their levies. They will dislike it a bit, but you can now actually appoint army leaders, which is really important. So you can choose who is going to lead an army, and you can revoke titles, which is nice if you can imprison someone and somebody's being addicted to you. So we're going to go to low, since you can only go up once in a lifetime. You can actually change it once in a lifetime. You can also, I can't go back to minimum, I can't go to medium. So what medium does is, first of all, vassals can no longer fight each other. So your realm will be quite stable within. They can still attack outside the realm, which is nice. They can like expand for you, because if they gain land, they'll still be your vassals, so it will be your land as well. And you can now revoke infidel titles freely. So if I have a Muslim in my empire or kingdom, then I can just take his title without any problems, which is nice. And again, the levy size is going to grow because we have more authority over them. We can go up to high, and now vassal titles can no longer pass outside their realm through inheritance. Revocation of infidel titles are still free. So this is really nice. I also like to go to medium or high, depending on how stable my realm is. If a vassal is going to, like, you can lose a title by inheritance if, like, my vassal, if this guy would die and his daughter wouldn't be there, but he would have like a son who's the king of Scotland. Scotland would gain this title. I couldn't do anything about it because it's just through inheritance. I would have killed the king of Scotland, get him a new heir before he dies. It's really hard to match that. So on high crown authority, you eliminate that problem, which is extremely nice, but vassals will dislike you a lot. So that's why I never really go up to maximum, and I like to stay on high or medium, depending on how much they like me and how stable my realm is. Medium makes it a little easier to manage vassals. High gives you a little more control and makes your realm a bit more stable because they can wow, I'm sorry about that. So you can't lose title through inheritance. And then maximum crown authority, vassals can no longer fight each other, they can no longer wage war, so you have total control about them. And well, they need to give you almost all their levy. Even if they hate you, they just need to give that. And you have almost complete control. So, but they will like you with minus 30, which is really hard when you are like, when you die and your son inherits, you'll have extreme penalties, and you might have trouble keeping your realm together against civil wars and stuff like that. And that's so I'm going to hit play again. We're just going to merge our armies here, and if low crown authority has gone through, I can resign myself and place my. I'll just place my son there. So I'll find you someone. Now Crusader. Oh, we actually got an ally. We can still win this. I wonder who he's allied with. I think this guy over here, which will give them slight advantage over me. But I think we'll win this. Yeah, we'll crush him. Crush these armies, besiege this county, then we'll go and destroy Connacht. And as we do that, sorry for a little break there, I was just realizing something, that I actually skipped something. I skipped factions and actually civil wars and stuff, which is really important to manage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wrap up this video by well, destroying them, talking a bit more about tech and just going over everything I was planning to, and then I'm going to make one more video when this old king Munchard of Ireland dies. I'm going to make one more video about civil wars and factions and stuff like that, how you can manage them, a few tips and tricks on them, which is actually a big part that I just almost forgot about. So both their armies have been destroyed. Let's see if anyone will want to accept peace. Just a fast also save there. Nope, nobody wants to accept peace, so we're just going to destroy the rest of their armies and besiege their cities. I'm going to go up to speed 5 as the sieges go through. And let's see who we can actually imprison you. Oh, just imprison you, why not? Excellent. Our vassals are getting a bit cranky because I have their levies raised so long. And we can actually call in our ally. Why not? Let's that fat bastard has never really helped me actually, because he doesn't have any ships and he's just sitting on his ass here in Navarra. But we'll call him in anyway, so he might show up. As we wait, I'm actually going to look through a few plots I might be able to do. I can actually only revoke his title. That's no good. Is our council still appointed? I might want you to train some troops. And did I just appoint you or no? I'll become humble, thank you. So that's better. So now I want to appoint a new leader here, because I just sent somebody to train. Oh, we died. This changes some things. Just going to edit in a little cut here. And we're back. So we died. King Munchard has retired from the world at the age of 56. He died a natural death. Long live King Brian. So wow, we actually died. So what I'm going to do now is just make this one long video talking a bit about civil war, stuff like that. So we're going to end these two wars, which we should be able to deal without any problems. We might be able to raise a few more armies here. Fantastic. We're just all going to send them. Oh, so I'm sorry. We're still. Why did this open? Go away. Okay, so we are going going to merge all these armies and these wars, and then we're going to talk about factions, since our vassals are not going to like us that much, most likely. Oh, we're actually quite okay. Then I might just piss them off to show you what it looks like. So we're going to appoint a few new people here. We're going to just improve you, do this, and the rest is actually fine. Let's go. And as I was actually telling before we died, I was going to appoint a new leader here. Going to resign actually going to lead ourselves. So what you do to appoint a new leader is pause the game and move your army somewhere. Just tell it to walk somewhere. Then you gain control of your army. Then you hit it back at the point where you were, and your siege will not have changed. So we're going to hit play again. Speed 5. Going to really quickly siege this stuff, and our vassals are actually going to get a bit cranky. Our son came of age. We're going to marry him to a fine woman with a nice diplomatic skill, and maybe there's a nice trade. Quick 11, perfect. I'm going to marry her, marry him, marry him off to her, and we should be fine. We're still actually at our demise side. As I said, I talked about inheritance laws. We now have exactly what we had before. If we were still in Gavelkind, we would have lost a lot actually. So we're going to offer peace. Demand, accept. I'm going to crush this other army. To take your titles, good sir. Going to become our vassal. So he's not wanting to surrender. With few sons who are coming of age. And how much is our troop limit now? Wow, we do have a lot of troops now. Our vassals still kind of like us, so I'm going to do stuff you never ever want to do in a second. And I gained this car. And my steward died. Okay, I thought for a second that I died. I was like, oh, wait, again. So we're going to do this. We're going to train some troops. That's all fine. And oh, perfect. We got some factions. So I'm going to talk about factions right now. I'm actually not able to siege that, so I'm going to disband and re-raise. So factions work like this. If somebody in your kingdom is not happy, and it's 80, his opinion is 80 or below, he has to. But it most likely only happens when his opinion is like only 30 or something of you, like this guy here, 24. He's going to start a faction. This is basically a more open way of intrigue. He's going to say to every vassal, he's going to try to gain him in his faction, his cause. He's going to say, I want to lower the crown authority in Ireland. They're way too strict on us. Are you with me? Vassals join, vassals leave if you show them that your points are more important or make them like you more. And if they have enough power, so this guy has a lot of power actually, then you get this pop-up, dangerous factions. He has 47% of my armies, because my armies are really weakened by the war. He might declare independent. He might declare that he's going to send me a letter demanding what his faction's cause is, so he would demand lower authority. And I could accept or decline. If I decline, it's civil war. If I accept, well, actually, my crown authority will be lowered. So, how can we fix this? Well, we can boost his opinion by the same ways we boost everybody's opinions. We give him a few honorary titles. We are going to look why he doesn't like us, so no particular reason there. We can ransom a prisoner, but he's not going to do it. We can give him land, but we're not going to do that either. We're going to release a few vassals, so we're going to release this vassal here, which should... You are my vassal, right? Should actually improve the relation of all my vassals. Okay, sorry for the little break there. I was just going to look something up. By releasing him, I should gain the vassal opinion bonus, because I released someone from prison, but it doesn't seem to trigger here, which is really weird and shouldn't be happening actually. So I tried to look up what it was, and I'm going to go after this go after this again, but I'm not going to waste all my time on it right now. But so normally, if you release a prisoner, if he's landed, and the higher the title, the more opinion you gain opinion. So if I were to release like one of my mayors, I would gain about 5 opinion with all vassals. If I would release, like I just did, one of my dukes, actually one of my counts, I gain 10 opinion, and one of my dukes 15, one of my kings 20. And while I don't think I'll ever imprison myself when I'm emperor, so that doesn't really work that way. So 20 is about the highest you can get, and we can make a move. We're just going to gain the piety here. But so we can actually increase his opinion of us that way. But since we can't get his opinion above 80, well, we could actually send him a gift, because we do have some money. If this works, 33, this will actually not, well, it might work. We're going to just boost his opinion as far as we can. Now he isn't 80, so he's not going to, he actually left the faction, never mind. So now he left the faction. Another way how we could actually eliminate the problem is just by killing him. We could start a plot, we could assassinate him with money, as I talked about when we were going over intrigue. And the last way is through our council. If our spy master can scheme, if you scheme on the province that some of your that your vassal owns is in a faction, then he will encourage him really nicely to leave the faction. He'll let you know that you can take a decision to choose how you're going to encourage him to leave the faction. You can threaten him, obligate him, all kinds of ways. You can be really nice, give him money, bribe him, that kind of thing. So that's the last way. So we can kill our problem, we can improve the opinion, and he'll leave out of himself when he's above 80. Or we can send our council to do the job. So now we have just united all of Ireland, which is a nice time to pause, since we're not going to go warring, or we don't really need time to go by at this point. And so now we've united Ireland, we have gone through our laws, we are quite stable, we can go up to medium if we want, but I'm going to wait until ruled a little bit longer and my vassals are a little bit happier with me, since they are okay but not in a great spot. Now we're going to talk a bit about tech, and I'm going to put a little cut in here to just go over all this. So see you in a second. And we're back. So I'm going to just go through this entire list. This is a bit going to go a bit into detail. I'm going to tell you which ones you really want to get, and which ones I like to get. Actually, you can always choose for yourself and what everything does. So we're going to start off with the military advances. So what light infantry, heavy infantry, cavalry and cavalry do is improve the combat ability from light infantry, heavy infantry or cavalry. So I always like to get a few in heavy, get off once in a while, get one in heavy infantry and cavalry when it's almost next level. When they will grow automatically as tech spreads through your provinces towards your capital, and well, it spreads through the world, so it will slowly actually increase over time, and you have points that you can spend directly by just clicking invest. This little invest button here. So if you have a lot of heavy infantry or cavalry, you might want to prioritize one of these two. I don't really like to upgrade light infantry that much, because heavy infantry is a lot stronger against them, and cavalry and heavy infantry just make more of an impact, I feel. So this is more of a personal preference, it's not really the most important one. And after that we get siege equipment, which will basically increase the speed of your sieges. Will not improve your assault chances, but if you're besieging something, it'll go quicker. Then we have shipbuilding. This does a few things. It gives you more ships, but it also lets you build more shipyards in your castles, in your temples, castles, and in your cities, temples, and castles. So building is actually one of the things we're going to talk about next, in next week's video. Building is actually what we're going to tie into tech right now. Right after we go through tech, I'm going to show you how to build something, and how you can gain more buildings is through tech. So military organization, this is the most important tech in your military advance, because what it does is it increases your supply limits globally, which is nice, so you can have more armies in one province. Your morale of armies gets stronger, but most importantly you gain plus 400% retinue. Later on it goes up and up and up and up, so you can get more and more retinue. So we're going to upgrade this now, since we haven't talked about retinue just yet because we can't make one. And we actually can make one. Perfect. So what retinue is it's a standing army. It's basically the army that most countries in the world now have. Your levies are basically your reserves, people you can call upon in a time of war, but they are not really active through the year. Retinues are. So I'm going to make one heavy infantry retinue unit, which now has one person in it. This unit is basically going to recruit in this land, and it's going to cost me gold every month, which I can tell them how fast I want them to go. It will cost me gold every month until it gets its maximum limit, and it will cost nothing. And then you have an army of 500 men. Your limit of your retinue is gained by how much land you own, but mainly with how high your military organization is. If you have a bit of a normal kingdom, if your military, the higher your military organization, the more retinue you can have. So we're going to also add an archer squad in here, so we have 1,000 man retinue, which is perfect, and this is going to grow over time. If I would just hit the play button, you can see that they're recruiting, they're growing, and that's basically what military organization does and what retinue is. It's really easy. Once you make a few, you'll get the hang of it without any problems. And it's really a bit more advanced. You need to know that it's there, but further it's quite basic. You can most of the time figure it out for yourself. Then we're going to go into economic advances. So castle infrastructure, town infrastructure, and church infrastructure directly increase the amount of taxes you gain from a castle, town, or church. And the other thing they all do is they let you upgrade more buildings to a higher level, all in a town, church, or castle. And again, I'm going to talk about how to do this right after the tech. But all you need to know, you can read which buildings they upgrade by just hovering over them. You can upgrade buildings in, well, your temples, towns, or castles you control, or even your vassals control. You can just upgrade them anytime if they're within your realm. And we're going to go improved keeps, which again only lets you build more buildings, and it's most of the time defenses. Well, actually only defenses. So this is basically if you want sieges to take longer, you are going to want to upgrade this, but again you don't really want to focus on improving your defenses, because this stack will just grow over time, and that's good enough. You have trade practice, and this is important if you have a republic, and I'm going to make another video who's going to explain the concepts and the mechanics about republics. For now, you all need to know it increases the value of your provinces. You never actually want to increase this, it's just going to increase over time. And well, republics are going to make more money in your provinces, and they'll make trading posts here where you get some money from, but it's not really important to upgrade. And the construction is just going to let you build quicker. So the most important tech in economic advances is town infrastructure, because you gain more taxes by upgrading it. And because you gain most of your money through towns, through your mayors, you want to upgrade this one first. After that, you might want to upgrade some castles or churches. If you have a lot of castles, it might help too. Castles and towns are both quite important. Churches bit less because you don't always get the money from them, but still important nevertheless. So then we're going to go to cultural advances, and we have noble customs, popular customs, and religious customs. And noble customs are going to increase the opinion of your noble vassals, popular of your of your mayors, your city vassals, and the religious customs of your religious vassals. Then we have majesties, which is going to increase your piety and prestige. Tolerance, which is going to lower the different culture penalty. So if you have a big empire, like reaching from France to somewhere in the Middle East, you have a lot of different cultures under your rule, and then tolerance becomes important. But otherwise, if you just have Ireland with where everybody has basically the same culture, you don't really have to focus on it. You might want to go for noble customs once in a while, and legalism, which is quite important because it increases your demise size. So if I want to hold more, I just increase my legalism, and it should go up by 1 when I hit play. Yes. So this lets you hold more directly, and again, now I have enough that I can actually hold two big duchies of 3, which is the ideal spot you want to be in. Then you have enough power, you have like a strong power base at one place, and you're basically at your maximum. So now for building. So if I want to build in my capital, I want to build new building, you just click on the empty holding somewhere in your empire, and you have control over it, and you can give it to the person who should have control over it, or make a new vassal out of it. It costs you a lot of gold, and it will just basically build a basic castle, or a basic temple, or a basic city. If you want to upgrade, you just click on the picture of the castle, temple, or city, and you hit this little upgrade button. Depending on what tech you have, you can upgrade. Like, I can't upgrade the castle walls because I need one more improved keeps, but I can increase fortifications, military training grounds, and this kind of stuff. If you hover over it, you see what you gain. So I gain a bit more units here, so I'm going to just upgrade my military training grounds, and that's basically all you need to know. This is also going to be the end of this video. I think I covered everything. It's also going to be the end of this basic tutorial. If I've skipped anything, want to know something, please leave a comment, and I might make another video. I'm going to go make a few tips and tricks videos, and one big advanced tutorial video which I'm going to work on, which are all going to kind of go further into detail, tell you about some of the more complicated mechanics, learn you a few tips and tricks as the name suggests. And I'm also most likely to continue this game as Ireland as a let's play and try to create the Emperor of Brittany, but don't hold me on my word on that one. I'm going to look into that. So I want to thank you very much for watching and for following this little tutorial series. I hope you learned something and you're now enjoying Crusader Kings yourself. And I'll see you next time.